Wagwan people. Jon and Mar, Jam podcast back again. Looking at the merch. Merch soon come. Just keep an eye out. Draft 1, phase 1. What do you think? Jam jar, 2 of us. Mar, what'd you spread on toast? That's hot, sticky, and warm.
Well, John, I think the answer is jam.
Jam. Don't say honey like I said earlier. Guys, we're gonna jump straight into it.
Yeah.
Straight into the nice, good stuff. Mar and I've been doing a bit of research, bit of work, trying to get some things together to talk about that you guys might be interested in. First things first. Obviously, Charlie's getting a big party this year, isn't it?
That's one way to put it.
King Charles getting coronated. Yeah. There's talk about Harry, Meghan, and Archie not attending.
Yeah.
What do you think about the whole situation, the whole royal family situation right now?
It's getting a bit mad, isn't it? To be honest, it's a family affair that's just playing out in front of all of us, and it's entertaining. You know, it gets people talking, gets people having interesting conversations. At the end of the day, it's like, you know, just let Meghan and Harry do their thing. Let them do what they want. That's my personal opinion.
I think you're right, but it's only entertaining because it's them, isn't it? Because Harry wrote a book. Yeah. Ginger wrote a whole book about how his family were mistreating him, and it's real funny because there's people who are proper royalists. I don't knock royalists, by the way. Obviously, we live in England. We've got royal family. I get it. I don't knock royalists, but there's royalists out there going, "Oh my God, oh listen to all the tragedies he had to endure. I know he's privileged." I'm thinking, one of the things he put something William pushed me. Okay. I'm like, what, brother? What, you don't have a sibling? Everybody here that has a sibling read that and went, that sounds like a Tuesday in my house. What, me and brother were fighting? Oh. Standard. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's going to be king of the country one day, but there's still people at the end of the day, and their personal business is being played out in front of millions. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's only interesting because they're the royal family. Yeah. I couldn't write a book about how me and my sister used to fight, and people would be like, oh my God, no, you had it so hard. No.
You sell a few copies, but not millions and millions, right?
Do you think they don't go? Or do you think they go?
They won't go. No.
You don't think they'll go?
I can't see it happening. No, they made too much of a big fuss. So unless there's actually a public reconciliation beforehand, I can't see them just being there. Because the whole thing would be just, oh, look at their faces. Oh, look at their faces. Oh, are they smiling at each other? Are they talking?
But then isn't that worse if they don't go? Oh my God, they're not there. They go, by the way. Just, they go.
Listen, Meghan and Harry are making money regardless.
Mar, you and I, our parents, some people sitting there watching this have grandparents that weren't alive when Lizzie was coronated, bro. I don't think people understand how often we all seen that clip of London, how the streets laid. Yeah. That's happening in 2 months' time.
2 months, yeah.
Less than 2 months' time.
Yeah. When is it? June?
May.
Oh, it's
May bank holiday.
Okay.
Pubs got extended licenses, there's a bank holiday, everything. People don't understand how big of a deal this is. Okay. This is to signal the new reign of the monarch. It's going to be a mad party. It's going to be big. This is going to go down in history because he's coming after the longest reigning monarch in English history. True. So this is a big deal. Okay. And you're telling me his Pitney's not going to go.
Okay, so let's say they do come. Okay.
They're coming, bro.
Okay. Your money's on them coming. My money's on them not coming. My money's on them not coming. 100%.
50 quid.
Yeah. Shake my hand.
50 quid.
They're not coming.
They're coming.
I'll pull her up tomorrow. Meghan, don't come for
you got a speeder like that, yeah.
Yeah, come on, man. From the suits days.
He's gonna say suits.
You know? I mean, obviously, it's a lot of drama. If this was EastEnders, half of us would have tuned out by now. But it's the royal family.
Yeah.
They're the original influencers.
Yeah. The original it crowd, isn't it? The royal family.
And now they got some spice in there, and then they removed it. But I'm not going in there. I'm not going in with that. You know, not right now.
What do you think about this Archie nonsense when they're saying, "Oh, how dark's the baby gonna be"? Does that bother you?
Yeah, it bothered me in a way that they should know it's not something you should be asking.
I mean, it's not something a stranger should be asking.
No,
but your family, man. I have a mixed race son, as you know. Mm-hmm. When he was born, he was white. Yeah. And he didn't colour up until, month 5, 6?
Until later down the line.
Do you know what I mean? So no one asked, but... Because obviously we're all going, okay, he's mixed race, so he's going to get colour, but... obviously people were saying, oh, he's really white, isn't he? I was like, yeah. But I didn't take offence to that because he was white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, especially like family. If you said to me, "Oh my God, like your son's bare white,"
Yeah.
I'd be like, "I know, bro. I don't know what's happening."
Yeah.
So like when if it was a stranger that come and ask that, it's inappropriate.
Okay.
I get it, but your family, like they should be able to. Family should be able to talk about anything, and you shouldn't get offended immediately. Obviously, you know your family. You know your family, so you know if they're trying to rile you up and push your buttons or not. But if they're talking to you like man to man, I'm talking to you now. I'm saying, "Oh, bro, how white's your kid gonna be?" And you go, "Don't say that." I'll be like, "All right, calm down." Jesus.
Yeah. So do you think there's actually like genuine interest and genuine kind of not ignorance, but it's like, okay, we actually are questioning.
Yeah.
Not for any bad intentions.
Yeah, I agree because she's mixed, Megan.
She is, yeah.
She's mixed, and Harry's white, like ginger. He's white.
Yeah.
So that baby's not going to be dark, regardless. No matter what skin tone he ends up, he's not going to be like the typical average light skin mixed race kid. Do you know what I mean? Like,
okay, I've kind of after speaking to you for only just a second, not like I'm fickle and changing my opinion that quickly, but you know, maybe there's like a genuine interest from the point of view of, you know, some people say, oh, they don't see colour. Like that is what I don't agree with. That is just bullshit straight away. Like you can't say you don't see colour, you're choosing not to. So maybe it's actually better that they had that conversation early on, rather than later.
Yeah.
In actual fact, he could have used it as an opportunity to teach them and to educate them and to be a bit like, okay, I see you've asked that question, I'm going to raise you this, rather than switch it and make it seem like they were doing something wrong. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have just used it as a teaching moment, but instead it's been blown a bit bigger. And even if they were genuinely ignorant now they had that feeling where it's like, oh well, we've done something wrong, as opposed to just we've had a chance to learn, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've gone a bit far now, I think. And Megan actually has a very successful podcast, which I'm not gonna name it.
Don't plug it here.
However, but she has a lot of popular and prominent, like strong women on that podcast, which will lead you onto that topic a bit later.
Mar's got a topic for us.
That leads on. But
just so you know, Mar's got some serious topics, and I think this is the most serious topic I have. The rest of mine are just like complete trash.
Really? No, I think this is pretty serious.
To provoke thought.
Yeah. So, do you think that Harry did the right thing by going to America and actually having his own way of making money and being sustainable?
So it's weird because Harry's my favourite Raw, by the way. Always has been since day one.
Okay.
Day one, because he's the one that's seemed from the outside the most human. But when you think about his behaviour, he's the only one that behaves like super entitled.
Okay.
Right? And not in sort of like a negative prick, I'm gonna do what I want way, but there was a time he went to that party dressed as a Nazi. Right? Remember, like, the people kicking off and he just didn't get it, and I'm thinking, you wouldn't get it, would you? You have no idea what consequences. You have no 100%. Idea. Like your grandmother's German, big man. You can't be rolling around like Nazis.
Come on.
He gets a little bit of the black spice, a little bit of the dark fruit, and it just drives him. He's known nothing but vanilla his entire life, right? The first bit of dark meat he gets his hands on, he just wipes it, breeds it, and leaves with it. like there was no other thought in his head other than I need to keep this black woman happy because she's doing me a madness.
Yeah.
The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Harry is the lead. Harry loves us. Harry's a modern day John Kennedy, brother. I'm telling you the truth. Oh my God. So it's weird because I understand. In theory, people like wanting to go out on their own and people wanting to make their own money, but I personally don't have that level of drive. Like if I'm a prince, and I'm not saying it's an easy schedule, but they like obviously do tours and visits and like their money's just there all the time. Like what kind of drive do you need to have to be like, oh no, I need to go out and go get a job and do you know what I mean? Because whether people like it or not, the work they do is obviously important. It is important. I don't know how, I don't know where, but the work they do is important, right? As well. Everybody has their roles. I don't think there's a person on the face of this earth that wouldn't swap positions with a member of the British royal family. Ever.
Genuinely?
There's not a person you live your life other than Harry's. Pre-Meghan. He's got no responsibilities to that sense because he's not going to become king. The only way he become king is if a mass tragedy happens in his family, and his brother, his sister-in-law, and all their kids pass away, right? Okay. So he's not at this point now. He's not going to become king, right?
Okay. Yes, I know what you mean.
He does a couple of duties here or there. I don't know how many. He does a couple of duties here or there.
Yeah.
And just collects the bag.
Yeah.
Collects the bag.
Yeah. Okay. When you talk about that, I would probably switch.
It's not like William has mad responsibility. William can't afford to write no book called Spare. William can't afford to go and marry a black chick. William can't afford to live any sort of lifestyle that he wants, because from the minute William was born, his whole life was set out for him. You're gonna be king. You have to do this. 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 And even though it seems like he's got loads of power and loads of control, he also doesn't, right? Because he can't just wake up today and be like, "Bun all that, I'm going to the beach." He can't. Harry could. Harry has. Harry upped and moved to America and went, "See you later," and left. Right?
True.
And nothing's happened to him. Because Lizzie's not about anymore. There ain't going to be no under the bridge Diana thing happening now. Like, Harry's going to be left alone to go live his life. Do you know what I mean? You think if Lizzie was still sound mind body today, he could have written some book called Spare on Elizabeth? Are you crazy?
No, that wouldn't have worked.
And the book was tame.
Yeah, and she's old school.
The book was tame. What you need to remember is there are things that Harry knows that Meghan will never know. There are things about this country, the way it's ran, some national secrets that Harry knows that Meghan will never know, and he will never even dare to write it in a book or a memoir.
Have you heard that they just have like maximum security clearance?
Yeah.
They can just go anywhere,
bro.
at any point.
Whenever
they
want.
just walks into the most secure buildings and just say, "Hey guys, what are you working on today?" And they have that clearance.
And do you think they need ID?
No.
Do you think they need ID to go there?
No. Yeah. Okay, so if Tekken did a bonus downloadable content, you would pick Harry as your bonus character.
All the time.
Okay.
Harry all the way.
Yeah.
Living it. Because let's think about it now. I'm not saying he's going to do anything like this, but let's think about it. He divorces Meghan, denounces Archie. I don't want nothing to do with him no more. Daddy, can I come back? They're like, yeah, come. And it's all forgiven. Water on the bridge, and he'll just carry on living his life. They'll stop publishing Spare. Like, whoever's got a copy's got it. No one else can get one. That kind. Do you know what I mean? Though?
That's the level of privilege he kind of has.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, he's out on a limb doing this but not really. Okay. Because if he wanted to, he knows in the back of his head, my life is set. I've got my life either way. True.
Yeah. So really, he's not really losing anything by going out into the world and seeing what he can do. Because if he fucks up, basically, he can always come crawling back. If he was to humble himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's weird because... So, I think, like, I don't know this because I don't know enough about royal family, but I'm sure he still has an income from the state as a member of the royal family.
So, when I was watching the documentary on Netflix, the idea was that they didn't want to take any kind of public money.
Yeah.
So, in terms of if he has any kind of ownerships or any kind of lordships, anything that he owns, he may still be. I'm not too sure. We should fact check that actually.
Yeah.
We need a fact checker, don't we, on hand? But yeah, the intentions, they didn't want to be taken from public money. They wanted to be self-sustainable in their own right, doing their own bits.
I'm sure they still get money off Charles though, you know.
Wow. Daddy's daycare, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, and Meghan, yeah, she's not exactly working much anymore now.
She don't need to, bro. Kind of what Meghan needs to do.
Any kind of interviews they did or appearances, they would have been getting very good money from that. And they have a production company in their son's name. That's it, Archie, something Productions. So everything they have, I think they then funnel it into a way that makes money for their future generations.
Because Charles is like, I'm cutting him off.
Yeah, you would be, wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh.
No, do you know what? I don't think Charles is as hard as Lizzie is. You know.
No.
I think if Charles was in power, is that the right word? If Charles was on the throne,
yeah.
when all this happened, I don't think anything would have happened to like Harry.
Really
because I think Charles is soft. It's his kid, isn't it? But I think Lizzie, where she's been doing this so long, like to her, like Charles has always heard the throne is everything.
Yeah.
But Lizzie has lived that. That's her. That's what I mean. Yeah. That throne is more important than anything. She didn't give that throne up. She was like 90, or she died on the throne. Like she could have left that time ago. Yeah. She died on the throne, bro. Like this woman is moving ruthless.
Yeah, like, and where do we even go from here? Because I don't know how much longer Touchwood Charles is going to last for anyway.
How old is he?
I'm sure he's in his 70s.
Oh yeah, he'll 20 years.
70s.
How many times in the modern times these all live forever? There's like NHS, private healthcare, and then the healthcare they get.
So you think he'll go past 100? Do you reckon?
Nah. No. I just don't think. I don't think you can ever guess someone's going past 100 years old ever. So 90s.
Okay.
90s, yeah, because they all make it to 90.
They've got access to the best care, best, and he's been chilling for the entire life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, his life's not hard. His body's not suffered.
And for those of you out there, I'm sure you know, he actually visited Luton recently. Yeah. Towards the end of last year.
Yeah.
It was in December, and well, I mean, it wasn't reported very much, but he came, and what normally happens is when a royal visits a town, the town enjoys prosperity, it enjoys happiness and a good harvest, and everything positive comes from that visit. No joke. That's what it's supposed to signify.
No, I believe you.
That's what it's supposed to signify.
I believe you.
Whether it does or not, I don't know. That's up to the people of Luton.
What we harvesting in Luton?
That's yeah. No, we're not harvesting much these days. You know, maybe yeah. Nothing that's legal, it seems like, anyway. There's a whole black market.
Nothing that's you mean the brothels?
there's a lot of black market stuff happening in Luton. So, you know, it's well known that one day I'll be the anti-mayor. Not the actual mayor. I know I said before I want to be the mayor, but I want to be the anti-mayor. The mayor that goes to all the mayoral visits, but has a different representation.
You're looking to get yourself assassinated, isn't it? You're looking to get, like, Martin Luther King down here.
No, it's just, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Wanting to be present, you know.
No, nothing at all.
You know, and if they want to come for me, they can try. That's it. But I'm not doing anything that's gonna get me done. So
why just if they want to come for me, they can try. What, you live in Fort Knox, probably gonna just about you wouldn't do this and the friggin'
I'm harmless generally, you know. I'm just I'm harmless, so it's all good.
Oh, Mar, what you got? What you got today?
All right, so big topic. But before we get into it, a message from our sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors today, which is actually us, me and you. We're sponsoring this video because self-promotion is the way to go.
100%.
Right? So what I'm going to ask you to do is to share this, to like this, and to let everybody know that your two friends, Jon and Mar, they're doing bits. Alright? So,
and no matter what you think about it, tell them it bangs, innit? Tell them it slaps. Don't be like, oh, it's kind of okay, you got to sell us up like we're the best thing since sliced bread.
Come on.
All we need is them clicks. One click is one view.
This is it, mate. So, sponsored by us, for you. For
Joe, he caught me off guard with that because he's like, here's a word from our sponsors. In my head, I was like, right, we got sponsors now, yeah, we're there already. He's like, oh, this is easy. And then he just, and then when he said, thank you to our sponsors, I was like, oh, that's for the cut, so you can insert a sponsor, and then my man said we're sponsoring ourselves. Oh, God.
Soon come, you know. Alright, so my topic is, it's a big one, and a lot of people will think that maybe we shouldn't have a say on this topic, but the topic is violence against women and girls, or VAWG as it can be abbreviated to. So there's been a lot of things reported in the news of police officers who've gone rogue and have done terrible things. There's a lady named Sarah Everard who was murdered.
She's the one that the police... Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I saw that advert the other day on TV.
So I think most people know the story, but I'll give a tiny, not nowhere near good best way to explain it, but I'll do my best, which is that an off-duty police officer was able to convince a lady to enter his vehicle at night when she was on her way home. Unfortunately, she didn't make it home that night because he committed a crime. And that, among many other situations that have been in people's public knowledge recently, has created this sense that women are under attack, and it is men who are doing the attacking, and it's created just a crazy discussion, whether it's online or in person. That's the trend. So I want to actually throw it over to you first and see what your thoughts are on the whole violence against women and girls?
So, when Mar and I sit down, we kind of go over some of the topics. Some stuff we like to sort of keep secret just because we want to get like a nice reaction out of each other. But Mar told me about this topic, and I'm talking to Mar about it, and I'm trying to not play devil's advocate, but I was trying to give sort of like a different point of view. But every time I started talking, I had to catch myself and say, there's no way to portray this point without seeming chauvinistic or seeming like you don't care about violence against women.
Okay.
I would never victim blame, I'll never victim shame, I'll never say people deserve what happens to them because they don't. It's just bad, and I just don't know. I couldn't sit here and tell you what the answer is, right? Because I'm a man, you're a man. I've been a man all my life. I identified as a man all my life. I'm not the tallest of people. I'm about 5'9", 5'8.5" to be specific.
Basically 6 foot.
Basically 6 foot. But I do weigh about anywhere between like 15 to 17 stone, depending on the time of year and how much working out I'm doing and what I'm eating, all that kind of stuff. So I'm a dense dude. I'm a big dude. And I was talking the other day to someone, I don't remember if it was a woman, and I said, it's really crazy. They'll sort of talk about like walking home at night, and I was like, you walk home at night? And she's like, yeah, I walk home at night. Like, you walk home at night? And I was shocked that she said she walked home at night. But because I said the reason I walk home at night is because there's never been a time, there's never been a situation where I've ever been walking somewhere and I feared an attack of any kind. Right? So I'm specifically talking about like a, sort of like a sexual predatory attack, sort of like of like a man would do to a woman at night. I've never been walking home and been in fear of rape or sexual attack. Right? Never. It's never even crossed my mind. So I couldn't imagine walking home and feeling, oh my god, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you see a hooded figure walking towards you, like if it's one brer and I'm walking down the road, I'm just carrying walking. Yeah. Like, because if that guy's going to stab me and I cross the road, he's going to cross the road and stab me in it. So, so I just walk past one guy. Okay. I would never walk past a group of guys anyway, but some people would see that one guy and that one guy just might go for it. I'm thinking, that's wild. Like, because some crimes, some of the violence against women is opportunistic, right? Not all of it, some of it is. It's kind of like, you're there, she's there, boom, I'm going to do a thing. Which is crazy.
Yeah. And it feeds into this idea that maybe women don't know who they can and can't trust because they think anyone could be a danger if they don't specifically identify themselves as a friend or someone to support them. And do you think, this is maybe another question to ask, so that person who's willing to walk home on their own, it's like, we couldn't say to them, oh, well, it's not the situation where you can say to them, don't walk home on your own, don't do that, because essentially people want to live in a world where they can do what they want. Is it a bit like, and this might be trivial, is it like going swimming and you know there's a risk of, in choppy waters, you know there's a risk of drowning, but you're not saying, well, I'm not going to swim, you're saying I know the risks as I go into it.
But I would say don't swim.
Interesting.
To anyone, so it's not just, I wouldn't say to a woman, don't walk home at night because you're a woman. I would say don't walk home at night purely because it's dangerous, no matter who you are. Because I used to walk home. I'm 30 now. When I first started working, I lived about a 20-minute walk from where I worked. It was obviously I worked in now as a pub. And I'd finished my shift on the bar at like midnight. Finished closing out the bar at 1:30, and I'd walk home. And I'd walk 20 minutes home after midnight. Every night. I'd work like 6 days a week. I'd close 4 or 5 days and I'd walk home. Do you know what I mean? And then something mad started happening, and people like postcode wars were happening, and people started getting jumped on the street and things like that. And when I heard about that, I stopped. I was like, well, it's getting a bit dangerous. It's getting a bit mad out. I'm by myself. All it takes is one group of men to see me. I'll get a bit antsy and jump on me. Do you know what I mean? So I would say things like, if there is a danger and you can avoid that danger, you should always avoid that danger, no matter who you are. If there is a safer option, you should always go with the safer option, right? You should never go with the option that's more risky ever. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. What if that threat is sort of all the time and it's ever present? Maybe in these cases that some women might have. So I've got a girlfriend, I've got a mum, I've got friends that are females. You know, I worry for them because, you know, if they're on their own, if they are, even if there's an interim between when they're with people and then they're leaving to get to somewhere else, taking taxis on their own sometimes, there is that thought that, you know, if they're in a situation like that, A, are they prepared? As in, do they know what they would do if they were threatened? B, if they were threatened and managed to get away from it, how are they going to be affected by it? Those are the kinds of concerns I tend to have, you know. And I know some really strong women, but that would still be quite challenging for them, you know. So is it the case that generally in society we should do more to support people before that becomes a thing? I don't mean arm them and give them like pepper spray and stuff. I mean,
see, I agree with you, but the question is how.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because if the answer was known and everyone knew how, surely it would just be done.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not that simple, and I don't know how.
Maybe we have to look to like any other country that's got to a point where they do it in a certain way. Maybe even different like cultures address it in different ways, right?
Bro, you say that. So I recently went to Barcelona, right? And I was there. It was lovely. The locals were great. The town was lovely. The hotel was nice. It was like right by like the Sea Submarine port. Amazing time. We get there. It's like 7 o'clock ish.
Yeah.
In the evening.
7 p.m.
Get to the hotel. There's a bunch of us. There's 100 of us. Check in. Have drinks, and then we'll decide. Oh, you know what? We might hit out the town. Brother, the people in the hotel went, yeah, be careful at night in Barcelona. You might get mugged. I was like, what? And they're like, oh, yeah, you might get mugged. But the vibe in the town, you would never think that kind of happens. Yeah. And lo and behold, 2 people kind of, because obviously we're like we're not sort of in a tourist area of Barcelona, we're in Barcelona, like we're in like regular Barcelona. And 2 people went off together, like obviously everyone sort of scattered off, don't know where they ended up, got mugged. Lost their phones, their wallets, everything, and I was like, what? Like, I think it was like a knife point.
Okay.
I'm like, so it's I don't think you can never, like I said, you can never foolproof a place, but then it's do you want to take away the mindset that fear gives you? Do you want that to disappear? Because fear keeps you safe.
Okay.
If you're afraid, you make smarter, safer decisions, right? Because we can't eliminate the threat completely.
Fair to say.
But if we eliminate the fear and change the mindset so no one's afraid, is that going to help the situations? Or are people going to go into a situation head on going, I'll be fine, and just still run into these problems anyway? And it then be even worse because you're not, like if you're already in a heightened fight or flight stance or state of mind and you spot something quick, you can be gone.
Yeah, true.
Whereas if you don't notice it, so it's weird. So because we can't eliminate the threat, like you said, there's always, if the threat is always ever present, it's always there. You don't, and we can't eliminate that. Let's be honest. We will never be able to eliminate the threat of violence against women, right? Because as wrong as it is, there are some big, burly, scary dudes that will take advantage of women they perceive to be physically weaker than them because they're smaller, lighter, not as buff. Do you know what I mean? So that situation is always going to exist at least, which is a shame, but it is always going to exist. So you don't want to eliminate the fear.
Yeah,
because
you want them to be vigilant.
Yeah, you don't want people to walk headlong into situations where they're going to get caught off guard and things happen. So it's and hard because you can't make the street safer. You can't.
No, have you heard this thing? It's almost like a hysteria where they're saying people may say, "Why is this still happening? I can't believe this is still happening in 2023," and that response to me actually is one of the most depressing ones for me because I'm thinking, you know, it's like almost believing that evil is gone, or you know, it's a constant struggle, it's a constant battle. It's not something that you actually ever win. You don't ever get to the utopia where there's just nothing bad ever happens. No, it's how do we make a concerted, on purpose effort to make sure things work. You know, it's not addressing the root cause, is it? If the root cause is like, okay, is it that there are vulnerabilities in our society or vulnerabilities in our communities where there's a situation where someone could be isolated on their own?
Oi,
targeted.
Do you hear how political we sound having this conversation? It's mad, isn't it?
Well,
we are so,
give me the space
we are so
do it,
PC to just sit here and just read it off
Yeah.
without trying not to offend anyone.
We can go deep on this.
Oh my God.
As Jon-Ross said, that there's no victim blaming. It's just what is the root cause.
Yeah.
And rather than being like, this shouldn't happen, they should be able to do anything we want, it's, no, let's be a bit more realistic. I can't cross the street without looking left and right because I might get blicked down. So just think about it a bit like that, you know. We can't just pretend and hope that everyone is good in the world, because some people aren't built that way. They're built differently, you know, for different reasons. So yeah, no, it's a massive topic. And what I was saying at the start is, you know, everyone should be talking about it. It's not just for women to sort out women's issues.
Oh no, of course not. Yeah.
And sometimes there's that, they throw the baton to us sometimes and say, well, what are men doing to address this? And you know, we've got a man-dem chat, we've got lots of circles, and we can bring this up and make it a topic more often. So that's why I decided to choose it as our topic.
Do you know what's strange? So it's and I don't want this to sound like an out of sight and out of mind problem, because it's not.
No.
But I'm not violent towards women. You're not violent towards women. The men that we associate with aren't violent towards women. So it's not something that I ever think about in my day to day. And I can't speak for anyone else, but I personally don't think to myself, "Oh, how can I make sure that the what I'm doing is safe?" Because for me, just safety for everyone just is in my mind, including women. We've talked about women. Safety for women is always in my mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like old school chivalry. Like, I'm walking down the street with my wife, I don't put her on the outside, I put her on the inside. Right? Do you know what I mean? We cross the road.
Yeah, in case I'm scooting
I'm looking for us if she's talking and I cross the road. If I'm opening doors, I'm checking to make sure everything's okay. Like, not in terms of I'm not opening the door going, who's that? What, checking corners.
Yeah.
But when we go walking somewhere, she doesn't like to walk into the room first, so I'll walk into the room first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it makes it comfortable. So that kind of thing is like, I already live my life in a way where I know that the women that associate with me don't feel like they're in danger.
Yeah.
So it's like it's up to every man to live their life that way, so that we can have a shift where women don't feel safe. The problem is there are some bad apples that don't live their life that way. Do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, so if there was a course being run somewhere that was to train me to be prepared for a situation, to deal with like an aggressive male to another woman, I would go to that, you know, just so I understand psychologically, or maybe in case study situation.
Most of the time these men don't have strength over men, bro.
True.
Like, if you as a man, they'll just be like, hey, roll over, and they're just gone.
And I think
they're not going to turn and you'll be like, you're getting something.
Other people might not think that. They might think, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
Or maybe they would go straight to attack. But the point is not.
Yeah,
you don't even have to do that.
My first thought is to run over them and be like, "Hey," and prepare for fisticuffs.
Yeah,
like,
it's almost like rap. Have you seen Truman Show when Truman starts doing nonsense and everyone turns and looks at him, and basically that pressure of everyone looking at you could stop you from doing something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it could be a very simple half-an-hour workshop. I'd go to that just to have that extra belief that I can go into a situation and be able to diffuse it, because basically there could be that boastiness of thinking, someone said, no, just go over there and knock him out. I said, no, that's not what we're trying to do here. That's just going to create more issues and more problems.
Yes.
It's how do you influence and make sure everyone comes out of it safe and secure, you know? So yeah, I would, if anyone has any courses and that sort of thing, tell us, share it, you know? I'd go to that, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, any thoughts on this topic? Message us. It can be a bit triggering for some people, or just generally, you know, it gets you talking, gets you angry sometimes. So you know, message us, talk to us. As I said, we're open guys. So let us know. Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's take a quick break whilst we refresh, and we'll come back with some new topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. You down?
I'm down.
Cool. I'm down. Welcome back to the Jam podcast with me. Well, no, actually with Jon and Mar.
And Mar, Jam, J-A-M.
There we go. So, Jon-Ross, please let us know your next topic of choice.
Next topic is a wild one. So, if I say to you, right, I need you to give me 4 teams. When I say the words to you, Premier League top 4, go. 4 teams. Don't think about Premier League top 4.
Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, and Liverpool.
Perfect. Thank you. I support Liverpool. Always have done. Always will do. Till I die. Apart from this year, it's been fantastic the past 5-6 years. Been a Liverpool fan, absolutely fantastic. I was there to see him lift the FA Cup live. I was there on their run to the League Cup final. It was amazing. Tamar's a die-hard Gunner. Obviously, their men are up this season, like up. And it looks you're like 7 games away from the title. It's 10 games of the season. You're 7 games away from the title, is it?
Yeah.
Because after 7, if you win your next 7 games, then City can't catch you. Title's yours.
Yeah.
First one since the Invincibles.
We don't talk about this. We don't talk.
Come on, man. You man are 10 games out.
We just take it game by game. We just do our best.
To be fair, they already fluffed a 9-point lead this season. So yeah, if it was them, I'd also take it game by game. So the reason I bring up Premier League top 4, the reason I bring up football is because I want to talk about the FFP and why it should just be scrapped.
FFP?
Financial fair play.
Cool.
Basically, I don't know what it is. Tamar don't know what it is.
No.
The FA don't know what it is. But it seems like it's a way to monitor how clubs are run so they're sort of run sustainably. Is that the sort of end goal?
Yeah.
Part of it should be controlling how clubs spend their money so they don't overspend on players. And there's a lot to it, but there's obviously the way that certain clubs move in the market, like Chelsea and Man City, PSG, and then other clubs are getting hit with fines. So it just doesn't seem to be very uniform. Doesn't seem to be very the fair part of the financial fair play doesn't seem to be really followed up.
No.
But I think it should be scrapped, and clubs should be able to be run the way they want to be run.
Expand. Okay.
Right, so here we go. I said to you Premier League top 4. You said Chelsea, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool. All these are old money clubs. Yeah? When Arsenal were down in the mud, when United have been down in the mud every season since Fergie left up until now, Chelsea have been down in the mud. Even when Liverpool been down in the mud, what we've always been able to do as football clubs is 1, stay in the Prem, 2, compete in Europe, and 3, sign a bag of players that we want.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time, because all those clubs have money from back in the day, and will always have money.
Yeah.
Man United are about to be sold for a world record bid. What have they done since 2013? So my point is, the only way that any new clubs can compete is if you let them spend.
Yeah.
Think about it. Teams like PSG, teams like how Man City were created, even Newcastle getting their new owners coming in. They should be allowed to spend the money the way they want, because the only way to compete with these clubs, old school money clubs, is to let the new clubs spend money. Because what realistically happens is with the FFP is the big United are signing players and putting them on like 3.5 bags of 350 bags a week.
350k a week.
And realistically, has the club been a success for them to do that?
No, not at all. No.
Liverpool are signing players for like 80 million. No one cares. Chelsea signing multiple players for 100 millions.
There's something going on over there.
Yeah, nobody cares. Arsenal been signing, man. Do you remember Nicolas Pepe? You man dropped 80 million. Where is he?
I think he's on loan. Or was it we told?
He's a Nice.
He's a Nice.
But my point is, those clubs will move mad in the transfer market. No one cares.
No.
City do it, mad uproar.
Everyone's
PSG do it, mad uproar. Let's be granted, they do it to a crazy extent.
Yeah.
Because they're spending overpriced on players. But those clubs have to spend big, because if they don't, no one's ever going to catch the old school money clubs.
They would have been home and dry. No one
Every
would
season.
have been able to catch them.
Every season. So you need to scrap the FFP. And at the end of the day, if a club can't run and goes to administration, so be it.
Yeah.
All these clubs have boards. All these clubs have people that help them run.
Yeah.
If you lot aren't going to... You're all businessmen as well at the end of the day. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At least 80% of these men that run football clubs are businessmen. So if you lot are making bad business decisions and your club folds, that's on you. Your club's folded.
Yeah.
How many clubs are in the English league, English division?
What?
Professional.
All
Like
of them.
in English football, there's like 92 clubs. 90 odd clubs in the football league.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not going to be a club to replace them.
That's true, actually.
And,
Never thought about
that's just league clubs. Think about the non-league clubs that end up getting promoted.
Yeah.
So yeah, if your club ends up folding and disappearing, that's sad for your club, and I'm sorry that your club got run that way.
Yeah.
But it's not going to ruin football.
No.
If clubs are closing
my
and going
opinion
into administration.
on I am top of the fantasy football team, to be fair. But my thoughts on financial fair play,
because the man them see it and be like, oh,
come on, I might win 2 leagues this year. But my thoughts on it has always been mixed, because Arsenal is a club that's always tried to be sustainable, always tried to buy cheap and sell them and develop players. And there was a period of time where we were a selling club, selling to Man City. We sold Adebayor, Nasri, Clichy, Sanya. That's 4 players just off the top of my head that just we sold them to them when they were old, but for over the price. And it just wouldn't stop. So no matter what we could do, we could never buy the players at a certain amount, because we couldn't compete with them that just injected money in. And then I don't know what's changed in our club that's allowing us to do that now, personally, but there was always this system of, well, old money just keep spending money. Do you know that Man United paid 30+ million or 28 million pounds for Rio Ferdinand back in the day? That was that was 1998 or 2001 or them times. They spent 30 million.
But then he's worth it, isn't he? Look what he's done for the club. You know what I mean?
He's worth it. But today's value, what would he be? 120?
Yeah.
150?
Yeah.
So I think that the old money, like you said, has had a way of doing things year after year. Bang, 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 bang. So how else can clubs catch up with them? They have to be able to splash the cash. And not have it like, oh, we're going to stop you, we're going to fine you. It makes it more competitive at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
That's what we want.
I would love a league of PSGs. Imagine how, honestly, imagine how even, imagine if players were picking clubs on actual preference.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Rather than...
Calvin Phillips wouldn't have gone to Man City.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish wouldn't have gone to Man City.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Players will start making footballing decisions.
Yeah.
And not decisions. Because I don't wrong these men, by the way. I don't wrong Calvin Phillips, I don't wrong Grealish, because you could have all the goodwill in the world, nobody's ignoring £100 million.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
City basically
you're an Arsenal
player.
Shine
shoes.
If Tottenham come up to you and say, "Hey, Mar, we want to buy your podcast. You and John have to do it in Tottenham gear every week. Don't worry, you're getting paid. You're getting paid $1 million a year for this for your podcast. You're doing it. You can pretend like you're not going to do it to appease the Arsenal.
Everyone's got a price.
You're doing it.
You know.
Do you know what I mean?
That everyone's got a price.
Yeah, and because the money in football is silly, the money for a half decent player in football is silly nowadays. You don't even have to be good. If you're just all right, people are just
Napoli player.
filling. They call him Cravadonna, isn't it? His name's like Cravadonna. He's George. He's George. Oh, you haven't heard that?
No.
Yeah, Cravadonna. This is the Maradona because he played in Napoli, isn't it? I can't say his name. I don't want to butcher it. Kravaginski. Some Georgian
his valuation is
his evaluation's up in the like mid-80s, and apparently like PSG won him for 160. Like that's what PSG and City do. That's what everyone has an issue with, is a player's worth 50 million, but they'll go bid 90 just to shut everyone else out of the market.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, if the whole league or all top 5 leagues were all owned by billionaires and all had bread, Krasinski would either stay at Napoli or he'll make a footballing decision to move to a club.
Exactly.
But he can't ignore the kind of money PSG can throw him.
No. You know,
like from Georgia, some little Georgian you.
Yeah. Change his whole setup.
Making chump change at Napoli. And Napoli can't match that contract. So they'll sit down with him and say, listen, brother, we don't want you to go. And they'll say to him, we don't want you to go, but we can't offer you that. Like, I'm sorry.
It will buy them a new training
ground. It will buy them whatever they want.
10 players to replace them.
Yeah.
And then he also gets a mad contract.
Exactly.
Wages.
Exactly. Calvin Phillips come out and said it. He says, yeah, I know I'm not going to be... He should have stayed at Leeds.
For footballing reasons, yeah.
But he come out and said, yeah, I know I'm not going to be playing every week. I'm not going to be a squad player. But you can't ignore the City contract, bro.
Well, the thing is, he went to City... Has barely played. Still went to the World Cup.
Bruv, Gareth Southgate doesn't know what he's doing.
Still gets a call up.
Sorry, I don't want to upset people. He knows what he's doing. But this latest round of qualifier, the fact he left Trent out, silly.
Silly.
I don't care. Silly. Absolutely silly. Because it's silly. I won't even get into it because man will start talking to me about Reece James and Kieran Trippier.
Do you think he's out of form or
no? 100%. But no. He's not out of form. I say this all the time. He's not out of form. Whenever Liverpool play well, he gets applauded. Whenever Liverpool play shit, he gets ridiculed. Right. He's 24 years old. He's one of the younger players in the squad, for one. And two, he does the same thing every game. He bombs down that right wing and he creates.
Sure.
He bombs down that right wing and he creates. He doesn't get back defensively. Dani Alves didn't get back. Marcelo didn't get back. And in brother, these are the fullbacks he's being compared to though. Okay. Realistically, who else is on that level in terms of attacking fullbacks?
It's people want to blame someone. They want to put blame at someone's door.
Yeah.
So they're saying, we're either going to blame Trent or we're going to blame Klopp. Which one are you going to blame?
Out of Trent and Klopp, it would have to be Klopp.
Wow. Yeah.
Because Trent, you have to play Trent to his strengths, right?
True.
The problem is we don't have a backup right back.
No.
To take Trent off, get him to get himself together, and someone else can fill that position. I mean, Milner could do it, but not to the same level. Milner plays left back very well at Liverpool.
Yeah, he does.
He can't do what Trent does.
No.
No one can do what Trent does.
No. It's a tough one. But yeah, Gareth knows what he's doing with regards to his selections.
Yeah.
You know, Calvin Phillips barely played any minutes. Yeah, I'll select him. Easy. Cool.
He's going for what he knows rather than what is actually good.
Ben White didn't get a call up. And he's top of the league with Arsenal. Plays on the right
well,
wing with Saka.
He's in a team that's top of the league, yeah.
He plays on the right wing with Saka, they've got a great understanding.
But is Ben White that good though?
Ben White is consistent and solid. And if you're going to select...
That's no. Oh wait, I said, is Ben White any good though? Tamar's response wasn't yes, it was he's consistent and solid. Do you know who else was consistent and solid? Mark Noble.
Mark Noble should have played more.
For England?
Yeah.
Gerrard, Scholes, Beckham,
What did they
Lampard. No, but you see what I'm saying, Mark Noble should start over there, man.
If he's going to turn up
Mark Noble should start over Phil Foden.
If he's going to give you a Mark Noble performance each time, that's what we want. We don't want a half Gerrard performance or a triple Lampard performance. We want Mark Noble.
Do you know what it is, guys? Because Arsenal don't have any good English midfielders.
Wow.
So he's a bit sour. He's a bit sour. All your best midfielders were winning World Cups with their national teams.
Alright, I'll leave this England part of the segment by just saying that he did select Harry Maguire. So it tells you something about that, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're not going to get into it.
Your defense is terrified. He gets a call up. Ben White doesn't. Trent doesn't.
Okay, when you put it like that, yeah.
Maybe financial fair play has gotten to Southgate somehow because there's no way to explain his decisions.
Yeah, I think
the money in football is crazy. This is a bit of a segue then if it's the same thing, but financial fair play in the women's game probably is as it should be because they don't get any money. They don't get.
They don't. Yeah,
I saw the ticket prices for.
They don't get anybody.
I mean, they earn more than me. I'll put them that. They earn more than me.
Yeah.
But relatively speaking, it's not on the same planet. And
no.
I saw a ticket price. I think it might have been Arsenal versus Barcelona or something like that.
North London Derby women's was today. Did you know that?
Didn't.
See.
I didn't know.
See.
I didn't know. I would see it on Instagram after the game, probably the score. But the tickets would be like £6 or £12 each.
But do you know what the problem is with that, right?
You know.
How do we not know the North London Derbies today?
Because it hasn't been promoted.
Exactly. Why is it not been promoted?
Do you think it's a chicken and egg? Oh, we're not promoting it because it doesn't make us money.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't make us money, so we're not promoting it.
So here's because it's my point now. So I don't. If you stop looking at it from a man and woman's issue in sport and start looking at all of the players, male and female, as assets, because that's what they are. They're assets to make money for the club and for the club to be successful. Cristiano Ronaldo. Go on.
What is it that you introduced me to on YouTube?
Power Slap.
Okay.
Power Slap, bro.
So
watch Power Slap, guys. The whole thing's on YouTube.
Really? It's marketed really well.
Yes.
And it's probably targeted to the right people as well.
Yes.
You know, and the way it's sold, it's a whole thing. It's a whole energy. It's a whole bit of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me they can't market the women's game.
No, I'm not saying they can't. They can. They can. I'm not saying. But what I'm saying is, the way football is currently set up.
Okay. Cristiano
Ronaldo is making more waves in Saudi Arabia than the North London Derby is in England.
Yeah. Why is that, guys?
Cristiano Ronaldo's gone to Saudi Arabia, and all of a sudden, every week we're getting updates on the Saudi League.
Yeah.
They're assets. They're all assets. They're all assets to generate money. They're all assets to generate interest, buzz, and profit. Now, someone is going to have to be brave somewhere and start pushing the women's game as much or more than the men's game to see what the return could be on that kind of profit. But when you look at things like you can people Messi went to PSG and the shirt sales were a joke. That probably covered his transfer alone.
Straight away.
Do you know what I mean? You're not that kind of. Is the answer just to advertise women's game more and that'll be it?
Yes.
It's as simple as that.
My answer is yes, because what happens is when you put these people up high in the consciousness, everyone recognises them.
And the football in the women's game was on the same level as the men's game.
The skill level is varying. You know, it's different. It's different intensity. You know, however, you can get people through the door differently. Is what I mean. Then that feeds into the infrastructure, which has to happen some way. You know. Because
my question is, if that's the case, why aren't these organisations backing the women's teams then? If it's as simple as just advertise them more, promote them more, and you're going to make the bread of them, it's a no-brainer because most of the top English clubs also have a women's team. So it's like they can now double their profits and their revenue by backing it, and they haven't. So
it's a culture thing. The way the men's game rose was like the working class people, and it was like a religion. They went on a Saturday, they went on a Sunday, then they went to the pub, or they went here, they went to church. It was religiously done, right? If they can do a similar thing for the women's game, you know, maybe we go to brunch beforehand, maybe then we go to the game, or maybe after the game we go for, I don't know, some other special social event, but it can't be done the same way up here when they haven't built it down here, is my belief, you know? So how do you make it a bit religious, you know? England is not a religious country that much anymore. Like 40% of people don't have a religion, apparently. So that's my answer to the game. Hire me, FA, Football Association. I'll change the game. Don't watch that. All right. So yeah, it's I do think the more you invest in the marketing, then the more it will grow. Personally.
Okay.
You know, and I already know who Leah Williamson is. Like she won the Euros with England, and she's an Arsenal player as well. So do you know who Leah Williamson is? Could you name her face?
Yeah, I couldn't name her, but I recognise her face. Because you know what? So I actually watched the. It's a bit cheating because I work in a pub, right? And we showed it, so I did watch it all. But the final was wicked. The semi-final for women's was actually really, really good to watch.
Yeah.
Really good to watch. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's the thing, and again, just bring it back to financial fair play. It's like they have to do their stuff in a sustainable way. But if there was a brand new owner of Wrexham Ladies Football Club and they injected hella bread, and then they were like just basically pumping money into that squad, I'm sure they'd let them do it, right? Wouldn't they?
No. I don't know.
Oh, I hope they would.
It doesn't sound like they should let them do that with the FFP, because that's not.
Well, if they abolish it like what you want to do, then they would be allowed to, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but they should be allowed to. 100%.
Yeah.
You know, Ryan Reynolds should be able to open up his credit card and just rinse it, paid off Wrexham, buying everyone.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone and everyone.
Yeah. I'd be open to it. Yeah. But what happens when it goes too far? What do we do then?
It can't go too far. It's already gone too far.
Yeah.
Financial fair play is in power, and they're already getting players signed for triple-digit millions.
Okay.
So it's already gone too far. When you look at when Ronaldo broke the transfer record, it was unfathomable back then, right? But it makes sense. He landed at Madrid, and look how he's repaid that transfer fee.
Yeah.
Right? Gareth Bale's even repaid that transfer fee.
Sure.
Right? Now look at the next one. Coutinho, has he repaid that transfer fee?
The Barca one?
Yeah. No. Has Mbappe repaid that transfer fee? For PSG.
Maybe.
For PSG.
Maybe.
No.
No?
No, PSG would do it. They're doing the same with him as they were without him.
Oh, okay. Good.
He hasn't added. They were winning them leagues before he got there, and they're still winning them now. Has Neymar paid off his transfer fee? No. Because again, before they signed them two players, they were running that league with Di Maria, Lavezzi, Cavani, and Ibrahimovic.
Yeah, true.
So they just swapped them out, spent hella bread, and they're still just running their league.
True.
In fact, they lost it to Lille.
Yeah.
So
backwards.
They're a one-team league, and they lost their league.
Banter.
Twice, didn't they? Didn't Monaco win it one year?
Yeah.
That Monaco team was lit. Fucking Falcao, Bernardo Silva, João Moutinho, James Rodriguez. That team was wicked. Who else have it? Dembele at Barca hasn't repaid that transfer fee.
Uh,
So all the players, apart from Ronaldo and Bale, every other £100 million player hasn't repaid that fee at all.
Did Pogba repay his fee?
No, of course not.
No.
Don't be silly.
Not at all. No.
I don't want to get into that because Jordan Henderson is better than Paul Pogba. I'll die on that hill, and I've argued in the group chat so much about why Hendo's better than Paul Pogba. Jordan Henderson is the greatest captain Liverpool has ever had. Jordan Henderson, as Liverpool captain, has won every trophy Liverpool can win.
Yeah, he has.
Jordan Henderson, as Liverpool captain, led Liverpool to play in every single game they could in the single Premier League season. We made every final. We played every game. Fair enough. We only won 2 of them. We only won 2 on penalties. Okay, winning is winning. We're winning Jamal, Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious. But Liverpool played every single game in the season. Who else has done that?
I love it. I love the enthusiasm.
So,
You know, no one can actually argue with that. And there's actually a video of you in the past saying Paul Pogba is dead. And I think it's true because he's gone back
to
Juventus.
Injured again.
Injured again. You know. But, you know, he was done over a bit by Mourinho and just other stuff.
No,
other forces.
He wasn't.
I think he was.
Everyone went, oh my God, look how good he played for France. All he did for France was pass the ball sideways and forwards. He didn't do anything fantastic. He played basic football. Do you know what I mean? He played basic football. So you telling me he couldn't play basic football at United?
So would you put Pogba in your squad next to Henderson?
No.
Why not?
Because I think Pogba's overrated. What's Pogba's greatest ever return season? Is it like 8 and 6?
8 goals, like
8 goals and 6 assists.
Yeah.
90 million for 8 goals and 6 assists. Really?
He's a Rolls Royce player, mate.
Jack Grealish, same thing. 100 million for like 4 goals and 6. I don't know how many he scored. Like, no one.
I think football's gone a bit mad at the same time. Ultimate Team just kicked up in real life, didn't it? As people just had ability to make any kind of squads on FIFA, and when Pro Evo did it, then same with these owners. I want that player, I want this player, I want that player, I want that player. Put them together. I remember back in the day, people wanted to have Messi and Ronaldo in the same squad. Yeah. They just did. Yeah, but Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, that's the same version. Yeah, just put them all in one squad. Yeah. It's gone mad. But yeah. Okay, well, financial fair play, never agreed with it to begin with, so yeah, we can get rid of it if we want. I'm down for that.